Well, we have been hearing a lot about it for weeks, but the US debt crisis hits D-Day tomorrow. And if you've been bored witless because you think that this doesn't affect you, well, think again, people, because this shizzle's about to get real. The US debt crisis 101. It costs the US government more money than it makes to keep the government and country functioning. So they have to borrow to pay for stuff. The debt ceiling is the maximum amount the government can borrow to pay for things like Social Security, military salaries and Medicare benefits. Congress sets that limit. It currently sits at an eye-watering $16.7 trillion. That limit has roughly been reached, and all the US pollies have until Friday morning our time to agree to raise the limit. If they don't, they default on their debt, and that would not be pretty. Good question. The US Senate is controlled by Obama's Democrats. The House of Reps is led by the Republicans, and they're using this crisis to put the thumbscrews on Obama and play with global destiny. Good question. Let's let Hildebrand answer that.
If the US defaults on its debt and can't pay its bills, that will have a trickle-down effect on the entire global economy on the scale of something like the global financial crisis times 16.7 trillion, and that is a catastrophic scenario.
I know. Sandwich, right? So why don't they just raise the debt ceiling again? Well, because currently Congress is being held hostage by this genius.
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them. Sam, I am.
And there's your guide to the US debt crisis. Thanks, America.
Well, John Barron presents ABC's FactCheck and joins us. Now, John, you're a US policy junkie. Is America about to basically drop us in it?
Look, I'm thinking of weaning myself off this stuff. This is getting crazy. They're going right down to the line. The clock is ticking. They've never been this close to the debt ceiling before. This thing comes along every 6 to 12 months. But this is real crisis time now, and nobody is sure that they're going to be able to beat this deadline.
John, look, we know how bad the GFC was, and that was just with one bank, Lehman Brothers, going belly up. What's going to happen if the whole economy collapses in the US?
Well, you're absolutely right. The US Treasury Secretary Jack Lew has said that this could be another global financial crisis. And they used to say that when America sneezes, we catch cold. In the global financial crisis, they sneeze, we got a sniffle. But we can't be immune this time. It is going to affect us. It's going to affect our share markets. It could affect all of us.
Now, John, we're talking trillions here. I just found out today that a trillion is 1,000 billion. So I'm learning the US debt clock apparently is already gotten past 16.9 trillion today, so it's already through the ceiling. Is this all absurd?
Well, yes, it is absurd, but look, the debt clock is not an official debt measure. Debt is measured by the face value of the US Treasury bonds that are on issues, things like Aussie bonds, but obviously American Aussie bonds. And that value fluctuates from day to day. So this deadline is a little bit of a movable feast anyway. It's something to kind of scare Congress into action. The only trouble is everyone's getting scared, but nobody's acting on it at this point.
And isn't that the concerning thing for us here that don't get to vote and have no say, that this Tea Party, fringe extreme right of the Republican Party, there's currently about 25, 27 crackpots that could crash our economy?
Yeah, absolutely, and this has been a problem for the last 4 or 5 years. This is just the latest in a long series of crises made in Washington, D.C. At some point, the international community is going to say, the US, you may still be the world's biggest economy, you may still have the global reserve currency in the US dollar, but we can't trust you. It used to be like lending a millionaire $100 and they'd be good for it, but now this guy's saying, yeah, I'm a little short until payday, maybe I can pay you back next week instead. Things are changing.
Great to catch up, John. You and Charlie should go for dinner sometime. Oh, I think you get along really well. Thanks, John.
Nerd
Chat to you
fest.
soon.
See you. Bye-bye.
And I want to give full credit to the full production team here at the project. In case we couldn't understand what was going on, lots of shots of the Statue of Liberty and $100 bills. So everyone knew we were talking about the American economy.